Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. Thanks for stopping by and taking a moment out of your busy day. If you're new here, come and join me for dinner. We're having beef pot roast today, and you're welcome. We're going to start off in a Dutch oven on pretty high heat with 2 teaspoons of oil. We're going to get that nice and hot, and we're going to sear the beef pot roast. This is like a blade pot roast. And we're going to put it in the Dutch oven and get it nice and brown. I don't season the meat when I'm trying to brown it because salt will pull the water out of the meat and it'll start to stew. So I save the seasoning till later. This would be a great meal if you're kind of sick and tired of ham and turkey for Christmas. Doing a nice pot roast. Oh, and the leftovers, you can have pulled beef sandwiches after, hot beef sandwiches. It's delicious. So we're going to brown both sides. I'm seasoning with some Vegeta Seasoning. This is a seasoning that's very popular in Eastern Europe. It has a combination of chicken powder, garlic, salt, peppers, onions, celery. It's got everything in there. That's why it's called Vegeta. So I've added 2 teaspoons of garlic, and we're going to get that in the pan. I've shut off the heat now because I don't want anything to burn. I'm adding a quartered pepper. I'm adding 2 quartered tomatoes. I'm adding some sliced celery, a quartered onion, and a carrot. We're going to season with some salt and pepper because the vegetables don't have any seasoning yet. This vegetable mix can be anything you want. I mean, you can add mushrooms, you can do whatever you like here. Doesn't really matter. It's all good because it's all going to braise for a long time, and the flavors will all come together and be absolutely delicious. I'm adding a teaspoon of browning. That's going to ensure that we have a nice brown gravy. Now I'm adding some beef broth that has red wine included. So this is going to be a delicious addition to this pot roast as it simmers. Pour in enough to cover. It depends on the size of your pot and, you know, the amount of stuff that's in there. But we want it to braise, so we need it to cover. We're going to put the lid on and we're going to put it in a 350 degree oven for 2 to 3 hours. You need to check to make sure that the meat's tender. Once the cooking time was done, I added about a cup of frozen peas. So I've taken the meat out and set it aside, and I brought the rest of the, well, it's almost like stew now, up to a boil because I want to thicken it and make a nice gravy. So I've used a flour slurry with some beef broth, and I poured that in, and we need to bring it up to a boil so it comes to its full thickening power. Once that's boiling and thickened, we're going to put the meat back in the pot, and we're going to make sure that that also gets heated through and gets nice and juicy and ready to eat. Doesn't that look good? Don't you want some? Come on over. After this simmers for 10 to 15 minutes, everything will be hot and you'll be able to have dinner. I've served this with some mashed potatoes. You can also use rice, and if you had to, you can use pasta. It's all good, whatever you prefer. I happen to like mashed potatoes with this because there's gravy. If you like the recipe, I'd love it if you'd subscribe to the channel. Thanks for stopping by today for some more food that warms your soul. See you next time.